Hi everyone, my name is Jadida, but you can refer to me as C. I'm one of the Fulbright grantees for the year 2014, 2015. Let's get started, telling you about my journey here. The work that I do, I'm a chemical engineer, so I'm here doing my master's in petroleum engineering. I was inspired by the whole shale gas boom that was going on in South Africa because we found reserves of shale gas that were quite significant and that could benefit our economy greatly. And so I worked for 8 months as a consultant at PwC, which is the number one global accounting firm in the world officially. And I worked there as a consultant, and I worked doing work in oil and gas. I worked in the oil and gas team, was the project coordinator for the oil and gas review in Africa for the year 2015, and that gave a good lead up and a good background to the work that I'm doing now as a master's student in petroleum engineering. The university that I was at BITS. I did chemical engineering, as I said, and my family makeup is my mom is a graduate, master's level. My dad never graduated. He never pursued his studies, his tertiary studies, due to apartheid and everything else that was going on back then. Because he came from a rural environment, so he had to come to the city straight ahead and get a job and move life. And my mom was fortunate enough, even during apartheid, to find funding and study. She studied at BITS, she studied at Rhodes, and she studied at UNITRA. It was called University of Transkei back then. So she was fortunate. She got a good education, and my sister's also a graduate from BITS, but she did her honors in dramatic arts. So we've got a very diverse family because my mom is in education, my sister's in dramatic arts, my father never graduated, but he's recently started studying towards doing his degree in theology. So we're a nice, diverse little mixed up family. And I'm the engineer in the family. My mom's side, I'm the only engineer, and in my family, I'm the only chemical engineer. I'm the only petroleum engineer. I've never met a petroleum engineer until I came here. So it's actually quite exciting to come back and be the only petroleum engineer that people actually know, and be the only petroleum engineer that I know in South Africa. I'm sure there are others, but I just haven't met them. My experiences in the scholarship have been absolutely amazing. Just landing in the US and meeting people from all over the world with great minds, with great fire. That's what I noticed about Fulbright candidates is it's not so much about your academics, because there's a lot of people who do well academically. But what I noticed about every Fulbright candidate that I've met in my life is they fire. They are fired. They are people who are passionate for change. And every single one of them, I met people from Lebanon. I met people from Kazakhstan, Uzbekistan, Nicaragua. I never even knew such places actually existed. I was, learning so much. And all of them, the conversations were all the same. We all want to be agents of change when we come back. None of us actually want to stay in the States forever. Everyone that I've spoken to is like, I can't wait to go back and change. I can't wait to go home and implement change. And it's exciting, you're in this network of great minds who actually want to be agents of change, who actually want to go back home and dig in and just change everything. So that's been really, really exciting. What I'm looking forward to most in my time in the US is actually traveling, because I've been lucky enough to travel to 3 states so far. I was in Nevada, I'm in Oklahoma, and then I went to Texas recently. So far I've only been here for like 3 months, and I've already been in 3 states. And for Thanksgiving in 2 weeks, I'm going to New York, so I'm looking forward to that. So I'm looking forward to meeting new people and also diversity in graduate school, because in graduate school most of us are like from different areas. My best friends are one is from India, one is from France. The people I go to church with, they're from Nigeria. And my professor is Turkish. My other professor is from Canada. So you're in this diverse parts of people who come from different areas, and you just stop seeing yourself as South African, and you stop seeing him as French or him as Indian or him as Turkish. And I say him a lot because I'm the only girl in my graduate class. The only girl engineering. Hey, so you find that you're in a mixed pot of different people, and that's what I look forward to most. Traveling throughout the United States, meeting people from different states. And I thought coming here that United States everyone's the same, but the different states have different kind of Americans, and they have different kind of accents. There's Oklahoma and they have their own accents. People in New York, they have their own accents. People from Atlanta, they have their own accents. So realizing that USA is diverse within itself, and then you meet people from different areas in the world, you just start seeing yourself as a global citizen. And that's what I look forward most to see more of what United States has for me, and learning more in my program, because you learn something new each and every day. And what I like, what else I'm looking forward to is the innovation. I'm looking forward to getting my teeth into that, because with shale gas, there's a lot of excitement, and United States is the place where shale gas is just really happening, and it shook up everything, and now it crashed the oil prices, so they're enemy of their own success. And now there's new technologies, there's people wanting to get more into hydraulic fracturing. It's causing environmental concerns. There's problems that we can be solving, and we're right in the midst of that. So I'm looking forward to getting my teeth into innovation, because as Africans, usually we just import everything that America just dictates to us, or that the Western just dictates to us. They say there's Apple, we buy Apple. So I'm looking forward to being part of the innovation, not just saying, oh, I'm in Africa, what are the Americans doing? Oh, this is their technology, let's take it, let's use it. But being part of it, being the one that says, hey, this is the new technology. So that's what I'm looking forward to. And there's a lot of innovation. There's a very innovative culture here in America, and they really encourage you to get involved. And I'm looking forward to that. So the knowledge I want to bring back into SA is I want to bring back the as I said, the shale gas thing. I want to be involved in the petroleum, LNG, LNG, liquefied natural gas. The government is looking towards importing LNG. There's new exciting technologies around LNG storage. I mean, we have load shedding now in South Africa, and there's economies that are powered. Their electricity comes 90% of it from LNG, like Singapore. I was in a talk today where they were just telling us about the exciting technologies that people in Singapore are developing, because 90% of their electricity comes from LNG. There's Japan, there's Korea, they get their electricity from LNG. And now with the prices being down, it's the best time for the country to import. And I was working on a project like that in PwC, and I get to be involved with that now, being in the States. So I want to come back, and petroleum, I just, energy, electricity, I just wanna be involved in that. That ESCOM thing cannot happen with me being around. We need to fix this load shedding, and we need to find technologies and innovations and innovative technologies that suits Africans, and that actually look after our own environment. So what turns me on creatively, spiritually, or emotionally. I would say what turns me on is my relationship with God, because coming here, I came alone. And I'm in Oklahoma. I'm not in like most Fulbright grantees go to Boston and New York and LA, San Francisco, and yeah, and then they're all either far east or far west. Then you get me, and I'm like in Oklahoma, and there's like no South Africans here. I didn't even know any Fulbright grantees who were coming to Oklahoma in the gateway that I went to, in all the pre programs that we go to before we actually come here. I never met anyone going to Oklahoma, so I came here and I was alone, and I was like, oh my gosh, how am I going to do this? I know no one, I've met no one, nobody's like me. There's no fellow African besides the Nigerian guy who's in my class. There's no one who's like me or similar to me. So I think my relationship with God actually really grew exponentially with me being here. So that really inspired me to actually say that I'm not just here to study and get my petroleum engineering degree and go back home and live go on with my life, but I'm actually here on purpose, and there's a purpose that God has for me, in being a change agent for the world, not just for little South Africa that I come from, but me being a global citizen and meeting people from different areas means that there's a purpose for me to be here, that I'm here for greater good. It's not just about me getting this Fulbright degree, but it's bigger than me, and that's why I mentioned the diversity, because you realize when you travel and when you stay somewhere else that it's beyond just South Africa and it's beyond just your nationality. There's a world out there that has problems that people are purposed to solve. And when you travel and when you're here and when you're alone and you don't have family, God just reveals that to you and says, hey, there's more to you than just your family and your little South Africa and your little job. There's things out there, there's people out there who need you, and I've planted something in you that you should just go out there and be great. So that's what really inspires me, most importantly. And what is strange or shocking about the US? People here don't walk. They are lazy. People in Oklahoma don't walk. I came here, I still don't have a car, and I didn't have a car, obviously. I've been here, and I used to walk everywhere, and I still do, like, okay, not every single way, because now I've got friends who have cars, and they're just like, oh, you can't walk, see, okay, and I take a ride because, hey, I'm not gonna say no to a ride, but I walk, like, going to the store, you walk, and in South Africa, walking is not even like a thing, it's just you walk, you just walk, if you're going to the shop that's like a kilometer out, hey, you're not gonna take out your car for that, you're gonna walk. But here, people don't walk. And when I walked to church the other day, it's 0.99 kilometers. And this lady gave me a ride, and then she came to church and she was telling everyone about how she gave C a ride and she saw her walking, and everyone was like, oh, you're such a good person. Oh, God bless you. And I was like, 0.99 kilometers? Like, that's less than a kilometer, and that's why I say 0.99. It's like 0.6 miles. It's not far at all. I was like, but I can walk. I can do this. It's not far. But people here just don't walk, and it's the strangest thing. And then the other time I saw somebody driving their garbage to the dumpster, like from your apartment to the dumpster that's like so close, like a couple of meters, and they drove their garbage there, and I was like, and I saw it on more than one occasion, just people opening their cars, dragging the plastic in the car, and then putting it in the, and I'm like, why people, you can walk, so yeah, that's what I noticed, is they are obsessed with their cars, and they're obsessed with, like they live in like, oh no, you can't walk because there might be snipers, and I'm like, dude, I'm from Africa, I'm from South Africa, there's crime, and we still walk, so, okay, that was the strangest thing that I found about the US. People here do not walk, and, on a good thing, that I found is the level of, authenticity of Americans, that's what I value the most, being here, is the people here, they're okay with failing, and they admit their failures, and I even posted a status about it on Facebook that the biggest billionaires here, their failures. Mark Zuckerberg is a dropout. That Bill Gates is a dropout. That Steve Jobs is a dropout. That Steve Jobs got fired from Apple. That, all of their failure. That Warren Buffett still wears the same watch that he wore like 30 years ago. He still stays in the same house. He's stingy. Like almost all of the great people, their failures. In South Africa, it's not like that. We're not open with failing. Even in my lectures, one of my lecturers, we had a bit of a squabble in his office. Then he sent me an email and apologized, and he said, you were right. I'm sorry. I was like, wow, okay, I'm not used to this. In South Africa, the lecturer will say you should apologize for him being wrong, and I love that cult of the authenticity, that when you fail, it's okay, and when you're not doing okay, like when you flunk in a test, okay, you shouldn't flunk in a test, but it's okay. Failure is more accepted. They accept failure more than they do in South Africa. In South Africa, failing is fatal. We look at our billionaires. I don't know Patrice Motsepe's failures. I don't know Cyril Ramaphosa's failures. I don't know Putsi Mahanyela. All these icons that we look up to in South Africa, we don't know their failures. But in America, you know each and you know their failures. You know that, oh, this one's a dropout. This one is what? This one did this. This one did that. And it's okay. It's part of their story. And that's the one thing that shocked me that I really, really loved about America. That it's okay. They're very authentic about their failures. Even some of the preachers, when they preach, they always just say, I did this and I used to do this and I used to drink and I used to, and you don't get that in South Africa. People are not authentic with the imperfections, and I love that about America. It's just been the one thing that it's shocked me, but I really, really like it. And what are the similarities and difference between the two countries? So differences, I could mention that what I just said, that it shocked me. That is like the major difference in the culture. And another difference is the joking society. Like SA we love laughing. You just look at our Twitter, you look at somebody falls in government and we are laughing. There's memes everywhere about it. You've got our Trevor Noah always teasing Zuma. You've got, our comedians. We're a laughing society. If something goes wrong, we're always laughing about it. Our parliament, pay back the money, you don't get that in America. They are very serious, and that's the one thing that's just been a little different. They're not much of a joking society as we are. They not as, we take something really, really negative about like your president stealing 260 million on his house from taxpayers' money, and we'll laugh about it and be like, pay back the money in parliament. But here, it wouldn't be funny at all. If that happened in America, it wouldn't be funny. And there's a lot of examples. There's a lot of things. We're just a laughing society. You look at the hello challenge that's going on Twitter right now, the Dawa Mukhale challenge, where we just laugh at everything in South Africa. We're a laughing society. That's why Trevor Noah sells out, and you find there's the blacks only comedy show. So you think you're funny. We love laughing, and here they're not as they don't find certain things that we make humor out of serious things, and they don't make humor out of serious things. Yeah. If somebody took $25 million to build their house, it would not be funny. They're more serious than we are, and that's the different thing, because you come with your jokes and you picking fun at people and they just getting offended and you're like, oh, okay, sorry, we're not supposed to laugh at that. And I also laugh at things that are really serious, and that's how it is in South Africa. When there's a tense moment, people tend to laugh. Even at funerals, when you're thinking about somebody, you laugh. And it's not funny here. So yeah, and then similarities. What can I say? Similarity, I would say, is the diversity, because South Africa is very diverse. So we've got 11 official languages. We've got Xhosa, Zulu, Sotho. We've got people from different countries. For us, diversity is a thing when you're South African. You're used to people with different accents. You're used to people because even in South Africa, South Africans have different accents amongst themselves. People who come from Eastern Cape have different accents to people who come from Venda, to people who come from KZN, to people who come from Northern Cape, Cape Town. Everyone just has a different accent, and we're all diverse within ourselves. And I think that's something that's similar, So me coming here, diversity was something that I loved, and to get more of it, but it didn't shock me, and it's because it's similar to South Africa. South Africa, we're very diverse. Then we've got people from Zim coming into our country. Congolese. My best friend is Congolese. She's South African, and people from Germany, and your lecturers are from Nigeria. Some of your lecturers are from Zim, DRC. You're so used to diversity. You're used to different accents. And that's something that's similar between the US and South Africa. Very diverse network of different people. And what profession other than my own would I like to attend? This is actually quite interesting, because I've been attending talks of the student investment fund. So I'm doing petroleum engineering, but I'm very interested in like investing and things like that. So I've been attending our university actually has a student investment fund. They've invested about 4 million in this fund. It's a student managed, so students manage this fund, and they've got about 4 million $4 million in it, which is like uh, almost like 50 million rand, and they've awarded over 600 and something dollars in scholarships, which is, it translates to a couple of million rand. I'm not sure what the conversion is right now. But so I've been attending their talks, and I'm attending their talk again tomorrow. And I want to try, because we can get a course that's outside of our program, and I'm taking a course that's more in the investing financial side, because I'm interested in the whole investing and finance, because I feel like it ties in nicely with what I want to do in the future ultimately, which is to run a power utility company. So, knowing the investing side of things and knowing the business side of things, can tie in nicely with what I want to do ultimately. So, yeah. And how is it being a South African diplomat? Oh my gosh, it's amazing. They love our accent. That's why I don't have a twang. I've been here for 3 months and I haven't picked up on the American accent because everyone loves my accent. It's really awesome, and a lot of people think we're British, which is yeah, weird, because everyone's like, oh, are you from Britain? And I'm like, no, I'm from South Africa. And a lot, like 9 out of 10 times, the first guess, people think I'm from England, and I'm not from England. But it's really awesome being a South African. I'm so patriotic. I love South Africa. I love my country. So I'm always telling people about South Africa. I'm always telling people that, no, this is South Africa. And I'm always on Facebook. When the Fees Must Fall thing, I was on Facebook, on Instagram, sharing about that, because I knew that I had people from different parts of the world, my Fulbright friends. I have them on Instagram, I have them on Facebook, and I knew that this is a platform for me to educate them about the culture of the youth in South Africa. And a lot of them were messaging me and saying, sending me links and say, oh, I heard about this, and I'm really interested in learning about what's going on, and thank you for sharing, And, when I share mostly about South Africa, then people who are in my Fulbright network and people who are in my international network are always learning about South Africa and always having a different perspective of it, because you get a lot of people who are ignorant, people asking you how far are you from Boko Haram, and people, when you tell them you're from South Africa, then they tell you about a cousin in Nairobi, and you're like, Nairobi's in Kenya and South Africa kind of different. I've met a lot of ignorant people here. So it's been great for me, being a South African diplomat, to educate them about South Africa and educate them about Africa at large, because I'm not just South African, I am African. And South Africa is the only country in Africa that has the word Africa within its name. And as often as South Africans, we always try to distance ourselves. It's South Africa meeting the rest of Africa. No. It's South Africa, and it's Africans actually, and when you travel, you realize the importance of that, and you realize how tragic this thing of xenophobia actually was, because I'm here, I'm South African, and I'm the people who have been like taken me in, because I haven't met another South African here in Oklahoma yet. Not that there aren't any. I'm still hopeful. Probably find a South African one of these days. But the people who have taken me in are my African brothers. They come from different countries within Africa, and they've taken me in as one of their own. And I'm just thinking about what happened with the xenophobia, and I was like, this is actually quite tragic, because here I am, I'm a foreigner, and I'm being taken in by people who in my country were being terrorized and were being told to go back to their own countries, when the roles are reversed now. So it's been a really great experience being South African, educating people about my country that is so beautiful. And I saw a survey recently that said South Africa, it listed the top 20 beautiful countries in the world, and South Africa came number 1. I shared that on Facebook so everyone can know that that's where I'm from, So it's been great, because I love my country so much, and I've taught so many people so much about my country, and a lot of people are just like, oh my gosh, I need to come to South Africa. And I'm like, yes, you must come. It's such a great place. And coming here, I actually realized how much of a great country South Africa is. I realized that living there is cheap, for one. America is so expensive. I'm so broke. But anyways, I'm keeping strong. It's so cheap to live in South Africa, and the friendliness, people in South Africa are so warm. You don't really get that when you travel to first world countries. And I've heard people who travel to places like Europe, they say the people there are not warm as well. Americans are friendly, but they don't have that African warmth. South Africans, we're a very warm, kind of, we just take you in. Even when you're coming into a place for the first time, you may be a different gender, different race from us, but we'll accommodate you. We're a very warm, loving country. And to be able to educate people about that and to be able to display that warmth, because I've even had okay, I don't know if I should share this, but I even had people stalking me because when you're a South African, you just speak to everyone and you open up to everyone, and people can take that the wrong way when you're in the US because they're not like that. Then people start clinging, and you're like, no, that's not what I meant. I'm from South Africa. We're like this. We're naturally warm. So I've even had to be able to play it safe and be like, okay, be warm, but just come back a little because people may take that a wrong way. You're not in South Africa anymore where warmness is okay, and it's okay to talk to strangers, and it's okay to laugh with somebody in the bus that you've never met and just never talk to them again. We're just like that. We're South Africans. We're warm. We're open. We laugh with people. We pick at one another. We laugh. We're just a loving, very loving community, and we're just like that. So it's been great to be able to share that South African warmth with other people, to be able to share what we are made of, our fire, our passion. We're a very passionate nation. Our youth is very fired up. Our youth, the Fees Must Fall thing just showed how we're a no nonsense kind of country. We don't take the things that go on very lightly. And yeah, so it's been absolutely awesome. I think I've answered all the questions so far. Yes, I've answered all the questions. So I hope you enjoyed I know it's been 30 minutes, I talk a lot, I know. I'm sorry about that. But I hope you've enjoyed hearing about my experience, and I sure hope that a lot of you apply to become Fulbright grantees. If you haven't applied, or if you haven't been thinking about applying, I would so encourage everyone to just apply to be a Fulbright grantee. It is an absolutely life-changing experience. It will change the way you think. I came here thinking I like having my ducks in a row. I came here thinking I have it all figured out, and this is what I'm going to do. This is what I'm going to do. I came here and totally flipped the script, but for the better. It's completely life changing. So I would say if anyone wants to apply for Fulbright, just do it. Traveling and coming to the States has absolutely been awesome. You're in the front line of every kind of innovation that you can possibly think of, and you're in a country that accepts you and that accepts the fact that you are a good brain that could add to their country and that could add to the cutting edgeness of the new technology that you're working in, and you can go home and just do great things. So yeah, that's my experience. I hope you enjoyed.